Welcome back to the Dota 2 Asian Championship powered by the Score Esports. This is the third game. I saw this movie earlier today. IG versus Rave. Rave won game 1. IG stomped game 2. Rave wins game 3. Now Rave wins game 1 versus Big God. Gets stomped game 2. Can they take game 3?
I have no idea, Bruno.
Great.
To put it bluntly, I have no idea what to think about Rave. Like, when you think they're terrible, they're amazing. When you think they're amazing, they're terrible. So what happens when you don't know? I guess we'll find out.
I guess we'll find out.
A draw?
There's only been one draw in Dota 2 history. Two?
Two, the same tournament.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that makes sense.
Yes.
That's not a big surprise, I guess, at the end of the day.
Winter, how do you feel the guys might feel now after losing to that strat?
Momentum-wise, you could argue that Big God has the momentum now coming off that win. But I feel Rave, they still have their shot in this game for sure, depending on how they compose themselves after like a 15-minute game.
Mhm.
A lot of stuff goes through your mind. Like, you lost a game 15 minutes and you didn't particularly even made any bad mistakes in the whole game, but you just couldn't do anything at all.
Right.
It's very important for them to compose themselves, believe in themselves that they can do this.
Believe. You said they won game 1 with a heart. They have to find that place in their heart
Again, now.
to bring them to victory. Let's see if they can find their place in the draft as well. The draft has just started. They're not getting the Chen once again, and they're not getting the Troll either.
That's true.
That is true.
Shadow Fiend, though. He's been banned the first 2 games, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
And we're gonna see some of the good old Big God Shadow Fiend. You hear that they run a lot. They're 5-on-1 with, and they probably feel very confident going into this game. Not the best hero to run a super pushing lineup with, but it's still open to the idea. We'll see if Rave tries to react and try to like, oh, these earphones are so weird. How do they work?
That's not Eternal Envy, Bruno.
That was, of course, Jayo. But yeah, Rave, as I said, let's see if they try to counter that pushing lineup before it appears to just discourage it from going that way.
Do you really think they do that twice in a row, though? I don't know.
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah, why not? I don't think it's like you want to change up every game. I want to do something
It's more of a
different every
surprise
game.
factor last game, though, wasn't it?
They knew it was coming, though. Like, the lineup told them so early. It was just how they handled it, which I felt was the biggest issue there. Shadow
He's
Fiend-
really intrigued about his earphones. They have great sound.
It's an Apple headset.
Is
No,
it?
it isn't.
No.
No, it doesn't look like one.
It is. I have one.
Is
It's
it?
exactly the same from the iPhone.
Interesting.
What happened to Vengeful Spirit? That was like the biggest pick the first...
I think you
Most of the
either
tournaments
pick
were.
Venge or you pick Lion.
And it depends on what partner you get.
Exactly.
Your composition wise. Like, for example, this game Big God, they have Shadow Fiend. You want to have Venge plus Shadow Fiend on Dire side, and X with Lion if you like on Rave side.
Yeah,
To complement the X better.
Also, Big God loves to play the Witch Doctor as well. So they guaranteed this support with high impact. And they can go for something different that is less damaging than the Vengeful Spirit as well. So we'll see. Venge and Shadow Fiend are really great partners. They go very well together, but again, it feels like it's going to be one of those 2 supports here.
They are
Sorry,
dire
Nexus.
as well.
Yeah,
this
Venge
game.
is like something, maybe even I would say too good to pass up in this scenario.
Yeah. They're going again for the Witch Doctor. They do love this pick.
I mean, it's synergized as well.
Radiant
Death
team
Ward,
back.
physical damage. Shadow
And
Fiend minus.
Good
Physical.
versus the Axe as well. You jump in with the Axe, you have the Melodic to worry about, you take damage, and the cast bouncing around your teammates that are coming in to help you. Great hero to deal with the Axe initiation.
It's a very early Rubik pick. What do you think about that winner?
10 seconds remaining.
I wish I could look at the bans for the last game.
It's a hero that's very... I mean, how well the hero does in a game relies on partly the
Reserve
opponent's
time.
composition, so it's very rare that you pick up the hero that early, but at the same time, he's a hero that doesn't reveal what strat you want to go for,
Mm.
and it fits in most of the situations.
Radiant team.
Ban of AA.
And also the Brood Mother.
Does that mean they want to go... Well, it's not always the case, but...
Well,
Safety ban.
you can
Whenever
take a
I
look
see
at the
an
bans.
AA, I just think
you
of,
can take a look
ah,
at the bans from last
yes.
game.
Let's see.
It was Shadowfin,
10
Chen, Medusa,
seconds
Troll. Then it was Naga, TA, Viper,
5
Slark.
seconds remaining.
That was game 1.
Okay.
And game 2 it was
Reserve time.
Troll, Shadowfin, Wisp, Medusa. And then TA, Razor, Naga.
So Rubik
Viper.
hasn't been banned or picked.
Rubik hasn't been banned or picked, no.
So it's odd that he picked up second. There's got to be something.
Yeah.
But when I see an AA banned, the only thing I think of, and obviously it's not the only, well, not just, it's just anything that has to do with healing, like anti-heal. I mean, Morphling is, they
Maybe
use the stats, so that works in the same
Maybe
kind
it's
of
the
way.
Juggernaut with the milk bar.
Yeah, the milk bar's pretty delicious.
Wisp with Tiny, then you put Ninja Boogie on
Radiant
X.
team pick.
Oh, it could be a Wisp game. This actually is a very good Wisp game.
Wisp, Bristleback, something like that.
Just, I mean, Wisp Tiny, Wisp and anything that can gank and kill that Shadowfin because he's a juicy target, very squishy, builds very glass cannony until he gets the Scotty, but that doesn't come as a first item normally. Witch
Well,
Doctor.
they've been building mechs though. Not as squishy as in times past.
Yeah,
10
Witch
But
Doctor.
still very gankable in
Yeah,
general.
exactly. That's the thing. He doesn't have an escape mechanism. Witch Doctor in general
seconds
good against
remaining.
ganking because of the swap, but once you get past the
Team pick.
concoction, it's dead. Sorry, not the the paralyzing cask, the coconut.
The coconut.
But
Well,
we
it is
do see the
gonna be
bristle
a
back,
bristle.
so you
I
might
think,
have.
I think it is going to be a wisp. I think you're right. I mean, there's no way Big God's going to pick it here to deny. And if they do, that would be pretty amazing.
It would be okay for Big God to vote for Wisp plus something else as
seconds
well.
remaining.
They don't have the lane set as well. Shadowfin can go solo safe lane. They
5
can safe lane
seconds
the Wisp as
remaining.
well.
Are they wisp pickers?
Well, Lan played the Tiny
Reserve
with the
time.
Wisp a long time ago.
He was the Tiny.
He was the
And
Tiny.
I was on the
exactly.
receiving end of that.
Yes, how did that feel?
Not good.
Wait,
at
was
all.
he the wisp from yesterday that kept relocating?
No, that was MMY.
Yeah.
MMY. I keep getting Lanham and MMY mixed up.
They were teammates.
I know. That's why.
Big God has played Wisp exactly 0 times.
Radiant team pick.
All right. So they're not going to pick it. Rave
Definitely
is.
not. Rave is.
It's really nice.
You get cookie point, Mr. Expert.
Plus, it would have been a good pick for Big. The Bristleback would have been a pretty good pick for Big God as well this game. So it's a denial of sorts.
Yeah. Winter. I see the Shadow Shaman now, and Big God can once again go for something like Luna +1. Do you think Rave has what it takes to defend if Big God goes for another cheesy pushy lineup?
10
Execution
seconds
would be the
remaining.
thing again, and yeah, potential heroes will be
5
Luna
seconds
plus
remaining.
Beastmaster to perfect their lineup, and you have double aura with Shadowfiend and Beastmaster,
Yeah.
and triple aura
Reserve
actually with the
time.
Luna.
Yeah.
And why not Witch Doctor and Shaman? It's already the same supports from the last game.
There's no lion picked. I just realized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing about Rubik deals better with early pushing lineups compared to Lion because of Fate Bolt, and you can
Yeah, that is true.
try and steal the Shaman wards.
Wards.
Yeah.
Shadow Shaman in general doesn't have I mean, he has a fork lightning that he can use wards and fork lightning to just make sure that you don't steal it. But even if you get fork lightning as Rubik, it's a great, that combined to Fable, it's a very good anti-push tool.
Yeah.
That Big God taking their time right now.
Luna or Beastmaster would be the more suitable pushing heroes. I have not seen them use Lone Druid in a very
No.
long time. Only EG picked the hero in this tournament, so I don't think I would expect that. So Luna maybe would be the same pick for Burning. I'm trying to think of any other cores that actually fit their lineup. Okay, Juggernaut is also a pushing hero.
Yeah.
Radiant team.
Yeah, so Big
back.
God, they want to push once again. And they're gonna rely on insane amounts of physical damage. Juggernaut, of course, right clicker, Shadowfin, right clicker, Shadow Shaman and Witch Doctor, the ward duo.
Warts.
Wards, yeah, they have wards.
My friend used to
10
say that. So.
seconds remaining.
Wards.
They
It's
might actually
acceptable.
want to do the same. They could
Dire
possibly do
team
the same
back.
thing like what they did in the first game, aggressive tri-lane to win and force advantage out of the 2-1-2 that Rave is going to do with the Wisp, most likely.
Radiant team
But
pick.
in the first game, they got a lead in the early game,
Yeah.
like that, but they threw it away later on.
What do you guys think of PA? It's almost never picked now, but
It was picked in. I think it was by Hellraisers.
It sounds more European.
PA
More of a
is more
pick.
European.
It's a European pick.
PA is pretty good against physical damage lineups because of the evasion, but the evasion.
Okay, they go
It's
for
going to be a
something
non-factor here.
the
Base
squishiest
defender.
of squishies.
Well, actually, Sniper, as we
Sniper
saw this
versus
tournament,
Shadowfiend.
does very well against Shadowfiend.
Yeah.
And
Shrapnel just
with
dumps
just
on
any kind of rotation from the Rubik, they can secure kills on the Shadowfiend very easily. Shadow Shaman and Witch Doctor are going to have a tougher time because the range of Sniper, once you get a couple points on take aim, is long enough that you're never going to be in danger unless you fall trapped to a couple of races that you didn't see.
Alright, so I'm going to say this again, and it's going to backfire. But
Okay.
Rave's lineup's really good. I mean, they have the Sniper in the back. They have Bristle and Axe that can tank it up. I mean, it's quite good synergy overall. Big Gods, of course.
Reserve
Yeah,
time.
A lot of it comes down to execution, but their lineup's still really good as well. You seem very
I don't know, man. Like the Sniper this time round, it's much better at defending. Like if compared to last game, so I don't
Mm.
think Big
10
God would have
seconds remaining.
easier time this game trying to push high ground, but at the same time they have.
Oh boy! All right, Big God won.
What?
They got
Big
Centaur.
Are
Best
you
hero in
that-
the game.
Are you that a big fan of
Best
the
hero
hero?
in the game.
Very good at closing the distance towards a sniper, which
Yeah.
is like you don't want to happen when you are playing a sniper. You want to stay as far away as possible from the action. But at the same time, I feel this lineup, even if it doesn't, they don't really deal too much structural damage with the early pushes. They still have Juggernaut and Shadowfiend to fall back into. Still very good in the late game.
Yep.
So I wouldn't say that if the push doesn't work this game that
It's not an all-in.
it's not.
that's for sure.
Yeah, it's not an
Yeah,
all-in
no,
compared like the
definitely
last
not.
game.
Yeah. It feels even like a hybrid, this lineup. It's
Yeah,
not really a
hybrid.
pushing lineup. It's not really a super late game lineup. It's just 5 heroes that are good.
It
Expect
has
a lot of
a
Roshans
bit
here.
of everything.
10 seconds.
Has a bit of everything. Not much of magical damage, however. I mean, this
Double
the
edge.
race isn't double edge.
Shadow Fiend,
Shadow Fiend and Centaur.
your friend, Shadow Friend.
It's pretty balanced. I'm gonna say it's a very balanced lineup. But that's enough of us. We're going to go to the casters and experts. You know, we get to be the pretty faces. They get to know a lot about Dota. LD, syndereN, take us away.
Well said.
Wow,
He,
what an
he
absolute-
promised a one-up.
A
but-
cheap shot and a lie at once. Like
Jeez.
how low
Oh,
can you go? Okay.
I mean, whatever it takes to win the argument, you know.
yeah.
All
Oh,
right,
well.
so here we go, guys. This is your deciding game 3, Rave versus Big God. Winner going to be playing the winner of that Secret versus Cloud9 match, and is already guaranteed top 4 with a shot at top 3. Rave, hell, both of these teams not really expected coming into the tournament to be in this position. Big God, viewed as a casual team, did not show quite the level they've exhibited here in the Asia qualifiers, but they've grown as a team throughout the tournament. Rave have too, and now it all comes down to this. Big God on the Dire, Rave on the Radiant. Here we go. Chrissy, going to be playing your Io Ryo. How appropriate, they rhyme on the bristleback. You've got J.O. as well on the sniper. All the O's here. You'll have Cast playing the Rubik support, and that will leave Ninja Boogie on the axe. Interesting to see him on that hero this time around. I suppose it's because they have a certain player who handles the Wisp. You have RTK for Big God on the offlane Centaur. Lanham going to be playing your support Shadow Shaman this time around. It puts Xiao8 on a hero that he's made a lot of plays with earlier in the tournament on the Shadow Fiend, to the point that it's been a respect band versus this team quite a bit. Burning, going boots first on your safe lane Jug, and it leaves Ice, I guess the least famous player, but still has been very impressive on that support Witch Doctor.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. I think compared to last game, we agree that Big God, of course, this time around also looking to push towers, but they're not going all in on the push strat this game. They changed the perspective a little bit. Juggernaut could go for the push, but with the Centaur last pick, I think this is more controlled and more playing for the mid-late game rather than the super early push. They identify that it's unlikely they can get away with it, especially after the last pick Sniper. I think that was a really, really good pick out of Rave. Deals with Shadowfiend very well in lane. Deals with the Shadow Shaman Mass Serpent wards when the pushes come about, and as a result, I think BG they take a different approach. And I think they don't really have any reason to be scared for the mid-late game either. The lineup is a very solid mid-game lineup, and I want to say as far as ease of execution, it probably even favors them.
Yeah, looking at Rave's draft, they have a very squishy card carry in the Sniper, someone who can easily be caught, especially against Stampede. Juggernaut maybe even gets a Shadow Blade or a Blink Dagger at some point this game. Even if you just go for the mass move speed build, it's still very easy to close the gap on that Sniper. So I would agree that it's a bit more tricky to keep the Sniper safe. The Juggernaut Shadow Fiend tends to build tanky. Juggernaut has built-in magic immunity and just mass mobility, and the Stampede back you up. So their carries are harder to lock down later on. But they also have this Bristleback Wisp. It's something that we've seen single-handedly win games, most notably for the other SEA team that competed in this tournament, MVP Phoenix. So we'll see if they have those kinds of openings again. For now, the Tether comes in, and Ryo already looking to go and make plays. The cast won't bounce, but the Tether does break. Ryo, is he going to dive for this one? No, they turn on to Lanham. If that Tether hadn't broken, they may have actually committed for a first blood attempt there. But
Big God needs to be...
You can see the power of this duo.
They need to be really careful. Their lineup is not that good at dealing with Bristle in the lane, I would say. They have... Well, if they manage to shackle him and they use Blade Fury in front of him, I think they're going to be okay. But if they manage to get a 2-on-2 in the jungle like that, it takes time for Juggernaut to close the gap, and during that time he could have lost his first support, and then it starts getting scary, because then even if he rotates in, what's the status in his second support, who's already taken damage from Quills, maybe been hit by a couple of Spirits, which, okay, that's not the case right now. He's going Tether and Overcharge on level 2, buffing out the Bristle as much as possible.
Yeah, just keeping him as tanky and aggressive as he can, and ultimately the Quill Spray will be how they look to get these kills. I think generally what we've seen out of MVP Phoenix there as well, but for now Ninja Boogie gets a call on the bottom lane on RTK. He'll take some harassment, not too much. And now top lane, there will be an engagement. They get off the shackles onto Chrissy. The cast's gonna bounce. It even goes to the Bristle. This is not the hero you want to get caught out, and Chrissy may end up being your first blood. No, Jugi through the trees, the Maledict will end up getting the kill in the end. Lanham with the last hit there. Now Ryo charging back in, but he does not have a level 2 Quills. There's no way he can go in on this, and in fact, he will be forced back. We saw Rave have a lot of kill potential, but if the Wisp is the one that's caught out, very easily dealt with.
Yeah, now burning his phase boots, and he's put 2 points in Blade Fury, so he is really able to deal a lot of damage here. Rave needs to be careful to not underestimate. If Burning manages to get in on the IO, he can kill the IO alone, actually. Just a full duration spin should be enough for the kill, and IO will not be moving faster than him. IO playing without boots at the moment, so even with the phase on cooldown for Burning, I still think he can stay on the target.
Looking at the mid lane right now, Xiao 8 is just schooling the Sniper. 20-9 to a 13-4 Sniper. He started with just the Wraith ban, already the 22 souls out, and every time Jo walks near creep, he takes a raise to the face. The wave's going to be pushed out right before that 4-minute rune, and you pick the Sniper hoping to kind of slow down the Shadow Fiend, maybe even kill him, but they don't really have great ganking supports to back this up, and as a result, he's off to a fantastic start. The cliff attempt will be there from Cast, unable to throw RTK up on the hill. But yeah, this is Sin. This is a really good start for that Shadow Fiend.
The Axe, however, doing good, doing well for Rave. So his blink will probably be sub 10, and is of course a decent counter to the Shadow Fiend. Catch him out of position and then lock him down. The main problem for Rave is if Sniper isn't strong enough, where is the really heavy single target damage going to come from? That will shut down that will kill off the Shadow Fiend during the call. Bristleback needs time to build up the damage. Rubik is not your classic damaging support. IO definitely not. And then, well, then we're out of heroes, right?
They have yeah, I guess they have Assassinate, but
Assassinate is good for now.
yeah, later on in the game, it's not going to be enough. But the Axe is farming well, and we've seen many a game where Axe just gets to the blink. Suddenly, 2-3 kills, towers are being taken, heroes are quickly and easily dealt with throughout the game as the level 2 Culling Blade comes out sooner, so hell, this hero's been almost auto first pick or first ban material throughout the entire event. We won't underestimate giving him free farm, but I haven't seen Ninja Boogie in that core role too often this event, so we'll have to see if he still has it. He should.
I think he played...
It's his main role, but as of late on this squad, he has transitioned into a support role.
He's been playing quite a... I think he's played Axe once or twice during the group stage, and he might also have been the player they put on Spirit Breaker in one of the games. I can't remember, but that might have also been a support.
Right. Yeah, I think
sure.
they definitely picked Spirit. That's something we haven't seen at all, but they did run it in the group stage with pretty good success, actually. So couriers flying all over the place. We've got one heading now down to the bottom lane to bring your vitality boost over for the X, so it won't be a blink rush. He's going to go a little bit tankier.
Do you think he finishes the Vanguard?
Does he really need it with the Tranquils, 4 Tangos, and Salve? Unless he wants a
He
crimp.
hasn't used any region yet.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he just does he want to rush a Crimson Guard here? Is that a good item?
It doesn't
Versus
work
Big
against
God.
the wards.
And
so
the Death Ward and the Serpent Wards, right?
yeah,
It doesn't work
all of
against
them.
either. So I guess it's not a. It's just the last time we saw this, I feel like it ended up costing the team. I forget who was playing, but I just remember an X game in this event where they went for Vit Booster first, and then you're like, man, I really wish he had a Blink Dagger for his team, but we'll see. We'll see if it comes to that. For now, fairly even
Bottom lane
fighting fights.
RTK.
They get the lift off. The call gonna follow this up. Now the TP coming in. How many spins is he gonna get? Not enough. Cask gonna prevent any further chase.
That was really unfortunate for Ninja Boogie. I think he only got one spin there with the hero and 3 creeps attacking him, so...
Yeah, probably.
If he gets
was
2
probably
there, that's a
owed
kill.
one more there, I would say,
Yeah.
just based on average luck. But them's the breaks when you play the spin lord. Pay. If only you could pay Axe off and I'll spin more for you. Wouldn't that be swell? So we'll see Xiao 8 just continue to farm it up mid lane. They now rotate that Shadow Shaman in. What is our Shadow Fiend going for? Is he going to get the mech first team? Is this the mech game for Xiao 8? It's generally the style that I would say kind of fits his own personal approach to the game the most, but do you think it's a mech game, or do you think there's any chance we see something different?
I think so. I think it's a solid mech pickup. Especially when you look over at Rave's lineup, which is built so much around dealing the damage over time, the mech is going to really cause them a lot of trouble. Armor is amazing against their
We've
lineup
got a
as well.
rotation top brewing. They're smoked. Swagger
Uh-oh,
Fiend on the move.
Chrissy.
Chrissy, no. If he goes down, they might even lose Ryo as well. Will tether out. Omni/ends one gets them vision on Ryo, who will attempt for the TP out. Do they have that extra disable coming out? They do. Shackles there. They'll get the kill. Nicely done by BG.
Very quick rotation as well. They push out the mid lane and immediately move top here. And this could even cost Rave a tower, as Burning has Healing Ward ready. Xiao 8 just naturally hitting hardest. We're going to see a Stampede saving Ice from Ninja Boogie, who did pick up the Vanguard.
He's still diving for this one. He's really committed. He's got the Vit Booster, wants to take advantage. Now Maledict turning against him. Ninja Boogie with the huge dive. Does he get anything for this? He wants to land him. He'll get that first dunk. He has the move speed now to go for a second perhaps, but Maledict brings him into the danger zone, almost into critical HP, and he will tick down. Not worth it at all.
What a really good bait from Ice. He knows that Ninja Boogie's checking his health out. He's floating at around 240 with the Battle Hunger on, and the moment Ninja Boogie gets in range, he pops the stick. And then he can't call him. He gets the cask off the Maledict while the tower's hitting him. They get the stomp off from RTK and the Double H. That was perfectly played.
Well,
and even with the reinforcements, they still couldn't keep Axe alive.
Xiao 8 did an interview recently where he said Ice was a player I had pubbed with a couple of times. I felt he had a lot of potential, and he's showing it here on the big stage at DAC. That's a veteran play, to have the poise to bait them in, pop the stick at the last second, and turn it. Not something you'll see from too often from a less experienced support player, but he's delivering in the clutch here for BG. Both of their carries now topping the net worth charts. The 3 cores of Rave bringing up the rear. They're slightly ahead of the Centaur and that Bristleback, but the Bristleback experiment, unfortunately, just hasn't worked out too well. We've seen this duo single-handedly beat a tri-lane before, but it hasn't really been that explosive start for them.
Speaking of explosive start, both Burning and Xiao 8 have everything they need. You might say it's a low CS for Burning, considering it's 10 minutes in and he had the safe lane. We usually see him with like 60, 70, maybe even almost 80 at this point if he has complete free farm, but he was still against an IO Bristle, and the overall result, Uh-oh. Okay.
Okay. That could have been bad. Very good. Very good.
Thank you.
Are you happy with yourself?
Average?
Average level of happiness. There's a smoke gank towards the top river. They're going to find Cast here perhaps momentarily. Oh no, he's hexed up. Omni/Slash is available if needed. It'll be used quickly, and now looking for Chrissy. Does he have a tether down in the low ground? If not, a crit or two and might just kill him off. He'll end up popping. Both supports down the drain. Now the TP out. Xiao 8 perhaps worried about a counter gank, but there's actually nothing coming for him. He'll go back to the well. Burning, gonna secure an Invisor in here. And already the mech complete. BG, you mentioned, or I believe you had mentioned the Roshan already, and well, if you haven't, it's something they can go for pretty much whatever they want, Sind.
That's true. Let's imagine I mentioned that, so I can look smart when they do it now.
You're such a genius, whether or not you mentioned it.
And as expected, Big God will be going for Roshan.
Expert analysis.
Great lineup for it. The mech on Shadow Fiend, obviously built for this purpose. And their lineup comes together.
They'll take the Roshan now, and Brave, no relocate, no X blink. Well, maybe they... Did he go back for blink yet? No, completes the Vanguard.
Yeah, man, I was really skeptical about X Vanguard going into the tournament. I prefer to play him with blink myself, but I've been positively surprised with Vanguard in some cases, but I feel like there's been just as many cases where it's been like, damn, if only you had a blink right now, right? And, well, it's costing a Roche.
It seems Rave have no idea. Ninja Boogie's actually charging on Demeta, and now they're going to need to beat a hasty retreat. He stops to take this tower down, but in doing so, Requiem will come out. I don't really know if they can chase Ninja Boogie. They're going to try with a cask, perhaps. Do they get in range for that one? He turns to throw to Battle Hunger. It'll get himself stunned. Assassinate trying to ward Ice back, and it'll do so. But yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, there have been Vanguard games for Axe that have worked, but I can't really recall a game where an Axe got a blink first from like, geez, he really needs a Vanguard.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way it usually works out, right? Where it's like, how often is it a mistake directly to get the blink dagger first? You know, there's some situations where like, wow, this Vanguard really helped him against the gank. He got a kill or two out of it, and that's fine. But it's never like, sure. So let's say you get the blink and you get ganked once and you die. You spawn right up and you go out and you find a gank for yourself. But right now, with the Vanguard, they need to wait. They need to wait for the Axe, and it's costing them. It's cost them Roche. It's cost them the top tier 1 tower. They might have lost that anyway, but it's definitely cost them Roche. It's cost them, I want to say, a potential fight in mid that they could have won at their Ancients when he had the Vanguard. The Vanguard costs the same as the blink.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So it's either or. They've just ignored him. Oh, great, you have a Vanguard. Well, if you're diving our bot tier 1 tower,
we'll maybe bait you.
We'll kill you once.
Otherwise,
but else we'll just leave you alone. That's cool.
And it's an Axe. End of the day, as scary as he is at this stage of the game, you fast forward 20 plus minutes and nobody's worried about the hero. At least not to the extent that they are now. And it's also just it changes the way you play. When BG know there's a blink, they have to be more careful.
Yes.
But there's no blink, so who's going to initiate? Bristleback's not just going to run at you and instantly kill you.
And now ultimately, they end up having the initiation tool themselves. They get the blink dagger and ROTK.
Coming in with an Omni Slash now. Bernie going directly on the JO, spreading that sniper a new one. He'll end up falling. Now Ryo on the way out, but the Bristleback with his back turned a bit too durable, turning on to Xiao 8. Don't think they really want to go. There's your blink. Boom! Xiao 8 with the triple. Oh no, Synd.
ROTK, the smaller his Ravage is, the more heroes he hits. Double Hoof Stomp, very easy setup for a double raise for Xiao 8. They get 3 kills, they get a tower, they get another tower. I mean, this wasn't really the purpose of the draft to start pushing this extremely early, but if Rave...
They can. They really can.
When Rave lose the fights like this, Burning just no fear, running in for the easy Omni Slash setup. And they will back off here as all the Radiant heroes respawn very quickly, but they just got a big, big lead.
Shadow Fiend is now 3k above the enemy sniper. And Rave have no burst, which, I mean, to go back to what you mentioned earlier, this is a problem when a Shadow Fiend is that farm. If you can't just blow him up, he's going to get to pop the mech, he'll get off the Requiem, then you're doing less damage. And meanwhile, you're dealing with Omni Slash, Death Ward coming your way. You can't stand and fight against that. Rave, they do have the Wisp. They have some rat tactics available to them, and it just doesn't look like they can take 5-man engagements right now.
No, they really don't stand a chance right now. They have to concede this bottom tier 1 as well, I think. Going for the trade is probably the best play, as Ninja Boogie with the blink could maybe get a pick off as well in this top lane, as I do imagine Big God will take the bot tier 1 and then maybe try to hold their own. And that could be an opening for Rave. They need JO with more items, and it cannot go fast enough. The sniper, his farm is okay. He's got 75 minute, 14 in mid. I mean, that's admirable. It's just not as much as the Shadow Fiend, who's, by the way, also 5-0. So
yeah, that doesn't hurt.
There goes that tower. Are they going to defend?
And perhaps we see why teams have just been banning the Shadow Fiend versus BG. Sniper on paper has been a hero that can deal with the Shadow Fiend. We saw it very successfully used by Vici Gaming versus Arteezy Shadow Fiend.
But they also had
aggressive supports.
They had aggressive supports helping out. Was that the game with Shadow Fiend, Mirana?
It was Mirana,
yes.
Shadow Demon, yeah.
Shadow Demon, yeah. And it really changes the the way the Shadow Fiend can lane. Because in this game, Xiao is playing a flat one-on-one, which I think he wins against Sniper. Sniper can stand and he can do fine and he won't be killed, but that's just generally not good enough against the Shadow Fiend. Here goes the tier 2. Oh, Xiao, okay. That's
Requiem. All right, they want to get in range for an Omni Slash here. The defensive relocate comes, but I don't know if you really want to go on that Wisp, because the tether back might turn it. So they'll just play it safe. Back on out. But yeah, even if it's just one really good ganking support, like maybe a Lion or something, then the Sniper gets 6, the Shadow Fiend has to be worried about a gank. But Rubik Wisp is about as low threat as it gets for the early game.
And they were visible all the time. They know the IO is top because he's playing a tandem with Bristleback. And in the bottom lane, X was not really that much one-on-one against Centaur. Rubik was there quite a bit of the time. And it's just too easy for Xiao to play the lane then. They really haven't pressured him, they haven't pressured the top lane at all, and we're now reaching a point where, well, Big God, they should be claiming the remaining tier 2s fairly soon, I think.
Smoke from Rave, but there's a lane ward. I'm not sure if this spotted the smoke. It was used fairly recently. Either way, Big God making a move of their own through the Radiant jungle. It's burning, sitting on his own top lane, but he has the level 2 Omni Slash. And they only have that call to really provide long duration lockdown. They may end up giving up kills going for him. And he sensed it. He goes into the trees, he Quelling Blades his way through. Bernie knows exactly what's up. Call gonna miss. They're still hunting for him. Ninja Boogie gonna walk towards him. I don't think he saw him yet though. No, he's still in the fog.
What a sick juke.
That's
by
a really
Burning.
nice juke spot.
Oh my God.
That awareness as well.
Yeah.
Really well done.
Yeah, it's one thing he jukes them. The other thing is that he moves at the perfect time.
Yeah.
As well.
Oh, they're going to continue stacking these Ancients. Something they can look to farm up with just a support or two aiding Burning. And this will give a lot of additional gold. Xiao 8 even going to arrive and look to take what's rightfully his as well. I believe something else on the courier coming for him. Is that by any chance a BKB inbound? No, Ultimate Orb picked up. En route to I guess a Manta style. Is that the item here for your Shadow Fiend? What do you think he goes for? Scotty, maybe even?
I'm thinking the Scotty.
I guess you would probably get the Yasha first if you wanted the Manta.
Yeah, I think so. The reason the Scotty is nice is, as we talked about, Rave don't have that much single target damage, so then he can actually not only be tanky because of the mech, but be so tanky with the Scotty that they can't really initiate on him. And I think that's the goal here, is for the Shadow Fiend to be so strong that Rave have to go on him, but they really don't want to, right? With a Manta, that's still kind of If they get the opening, they could potentially burst him down. With Scotty, I think it's pretty much impossible. And if they don't kill him in the first go, they just stampede. He runs out and they can reset.
Rave, they've had an amazing run through this tournament, but now their backs are against the wall again. Can they find that one more comeback? Can they claw their way back into this game 3? Or will Big God send them packing? Right now, everything points towards Big God with the advantage. The map control, strong late game, aggressive wards, towers still standing, 4 for 2, the current advantage for Big God. And they'll look to push in now. Powering through the middle lane, bringing the healing ward just to escort RTK forward. Looks like they might lose a tier 2 top, but it's one of the less important towers on the map, just so far away from Roche. Land him.
Ninja Boogie tried to make a cute engage.
Hex to start, Omni to follow, quickly dealt with. They'll even Requiem for good measure here. Your Omnis, or rather your Assassinate coming out onto Lanham. Not enough to kill him though. And now BG, they continue the push. No, they're gonna back.
Really nice play from Lanham. The X ported up here, and I think this ward, was that? No, that was placed after the kill. They planted that after the kill, but they sensed that there was a risk that X would try to initiate from up top, and Lanham moves in, gets an instant Hex off before X can blink, and they get the kill and the tower, and as a result also defend their own top tier 2 that might have been in jeopardy. They lose nothing, they get a lot. Story of the game.
Rave are trying to defend a lot, but I feel like they're just so weak on the defense right now. Maybe it would suit them better to just try and split push more, because they could have left the sniper top. BG had shown 4 or 5 heroes mid and no signs of backing. But as you mentioned, they did not end getting that tier 2 Rave yet to really execute a relocate gank, or hell, a gank of any kind. They've only got 2 kills at 20 minutes. This is not a good position for them. Xiao just gonna chill on the cliff here. I'm the boss. They're trying to irritate him a bit, but he'll blink on out. Yeah, that is a big Shadow Fiend. almost 5k ahead of the enemy sniper now. It was 3k just 4 or 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, that tower and that kill on Axe certainly helping. And well, this is probably the last smoke that Rave has, I think. They've really used it, a lot of them, without any success. No, they have one more, as a matter of fact, in their store, so...
Swinging around bottom.
This needs to work. This is almost desperation territory. They know Roche is spawning soon.
And big God, no. They're just so far back. 5 together, hiding in the trees even. Oh, man. Rave just can't find that opening to turn this game around.
And now Lanham, planting the sentry ward atop the Roshan cliff, knows that Rave don't have vision there. As a result, they might be able to just go in and take the Roche fairly soon. With now Rave moving, showing across the map. They should be crossing quite a few heroes through a ward sometime soon, or spot the creep wave. And that's when BG probably make their move into the pit.
You know, despite having the Wisps in, this hero can be used to take those pickoffs around the map, can also often be used just to out-farm the opposition through mobility, but they have not really been keeping up in farm at all, despite that. PG have just constantly been threatening, taking objectives, Rave continuously looking to defend, and now the Roche is going to fall. This could be the push for high ground for BG. This time around, Rave don't really have that trump card. There's no Refresher Tidehunter in their back pocket. It's tough to see what their ace will be. Yeah, that's a long way off. We have seen it twice this tournament, once very successfully, but it's a long way off.
Well, they're not going to go yet. They're going to get the rune. I think they take the top tier 2 tower, because why not? Just extend your lead, and uh-oh. Ninja Boogie could be in trouble if he doesn't blink before TPing. Okay, he will.
He does blink. Courier's coming. They seem to know he's in the neighborhood, but a bit late to find him will be Ice Ice, who's now picked up a gem. They want to extend their map control here. We already see the aggressive wards down for Rave, giving them great vision into the... or down against Rave. Sorry, giving BG great vision on Rave's side of the map. And with the gem, they can look to just clear out any Rave vision and try to keep them even more bottled up. Against a Wisp, this is really important. If they don't have the map control, they don't have any opportunities to find a relocate gank or even split push safely, then much of the hero's strength is sapped away. And they're just going to have to sack this tier 2. There's no way Rave takes a fight outside the base.
This is very gone. And the question is if BG siege, and if they do, is top lane the right call? I personally think the easiest lane to assault as the Dire is the bottom lane. It's the one where you feel like you are in the best position in terms of escape routes, in terms of how much space, how good angles you have going into the base. The top lane is a little more restricted, and the vision from the Radiant base seems better because of the distance between the high grounds in the top lane. So I think Big God might just aim to go bottom. They also have a tower to defend in the first place.
Speaking of bottom, we're having a bit of a skirmish here, a scrum, if you will. As Burning looks to hang on. He's gone Sanji Ash into Point Booster, just tanking up, not really building too heavy on the damage as of yet. And now they go in with the Stampede. That's one fast Juggernaut. Chrissy going for the tether out, perhaps? Nope. Just worming into the trees. Blink Stomp from RTK, way off the mark. As Chrissy will be found by Burning. Omni Slash down at the end. Well,
right at the end of the TP. He was very close to getting out there.
I suppose it's an acceptable casualty. They're going to give up a kill here or there, but they have to keep on pushing these lanes out as much as possible.
And Jayo's getting to work top.
What's he building? Is that a Maelstrom?
I think it has to be. It's tempting, I guess, to get a BKB because of all the disables and the magic damage from Big God, but he can't afford that. It's not enough. They need damage. And what's flying out? It is the Maelstrom. Yeah.
Well, the time is coming where Big God are just going to drop wards on the kill and look to take a lane of Rex.
They go towards Aghanim.
They go towards mid.
This is I think this item has been picked up way less in this tournament than previous Jugger games, previous tournaments where Juggernaut was picked. It's
pretty unpopular right now.
Yeah. I still think it definitely has its merits, and Burning will be showing it off here as, well, here comes the siege. What can the Radiant do?
Wards are dropped. Ninja Boogie for now is going to look to engage. He jumps onto those wards as well. And, well, Assassinate coming out, but Bernie will Blade Fury dodge it. Now the Requiem turning this fight. Xiao Wade's still healthy. Ryo forced back. Nobody dead, despite all those spells being used. But most importantly, the wards are still here. Ninja Boogie again with the Blink call. Trying to pull them back, but they're not actually following this call up with damage. They got to kill Bernie. No Omni Slash for now. He gets pushed back to safety. Bristleback Quill starting to stack up. Perhaps Ryo can turn it. The Death Ward not being particularly effective. BG are being forced back. The Aegis not popped. They've got another call. They get it on RTK as he blinks it for the stop. They lose one. It's a double dog. Rave again hold the high ground. 3 dead. Aegis down. Rax defended. Synd, don't tell me the comeback kids are at it again.
Well, if you don't have a double Ravage, maybe you can get 4 successive calls out of your axe, and then you can hold the high ground. Really, really solid defense from Rave.
How do they keep on doing it? They're so good in these situations.
And the relocate out from Chrissy really saving the fight, too. I think he relocated... I'm not sure which hero it was. I think it was Bristleback. He relocated out. He was in the middle of a charged-up Requiem and gets ported out before the damage comes in. Or it might have even been the axe. Oh, what a hold. They're still behind, but this is a big step in the right direction.
Wepis is getting excited.
He starts just slamming his keyboard out of excitement.
I think he was probably trying to tell us who got relocated out, but...
It was A.
It was A. Well, now they might take a tower as well. Wow, this would be big. Is there even a glyph available? The tier 1's going to fall bottom lane.
Dire's bottom tower
With that, that fight ends at about a 5k, maybe 5.5k gold swing. Not to mention the experience, which is even more substantial. 8k plus.
That's a really big swing. And I think one thing that's difficult to note in that fight because of all the chaos going on is how much damage Bristleback did. He managed to stack up Quill Sprays a lot of times. He gets ported out or runs out and re-engages, but the stack counter lasts for so long. That was changed in, I can't remember what patch. It's been like 5 patches or so, but the duration is 14 seconds on the stacks. So he can actually get back to the fountain with relocate, come back in, or run back and forth and still have the stacks on. When he came back into that fight, his Quills damaged Ice for like 300. Instantly, just 1 stack of that because they were.
And that's what's that's why he stopped the Death Ward, I believe.
Yeah,
he just had to run because the Quills were just wrecking him. Well, now we got a ball game. This one looked like BG might just run Rave over, but that won't be the case. At least not without a little personal time. Another Roche attempt, perhaps. Did they also lose the gem in that fight?
Yes.
Okay.
That dropped in the Radiant base too. It is currently carried by
the Rubik.
Cast on the Rubik.
Okay, that's big. Ryo now going to work towards a BKB on his Bristleback, so not up against a ton of magic damage, to be honest, but looks like he just wants to avoid that pesky Hex, possibly the Centaur combo, and live through the Shadow Fiend nukes. But there's still a lot of physical damage coming for BG. They have a nice mix. Shadow Fiend working towards his Butterfly. I think most importantly for Rave is just there's not so many wards on their side of the map anymore. They have a little more freedom to move around. BG don't have constant info and tabs on where they're located. And we see more aggressive movements. The Axe pushing out the top lane. They're starting to feel like they can stretch their legs a bit and get active on the map.
And now BKB onto Ryo as well. Really big item. Just avoiding the Requiem damage is huge. And Witch Doctor Ice on this winning team, he has really been selfless. He has 16 CS minute 30. He has bought the majority of the wards, letting focus be on Lanham getting items, who has Blink, Arcanes, and almost, well, I guess the makings of a Force Staff. That means that Aghanim Scepter Death Ward is not going to come out, and he's also only level 9 minute 30. Very uncharacteristic for such a leading team. Same for Shadow Shaman. The supports are really low level. They're just food for the Bristle.
Ice is unbelievably poor. Now, he does normally play the 5 position, so it's normally Lanham who gets the majority of the farm as far as the supports go, but as the game goes later, tearing through that Bristleback's armor, like, the wards just aren't going to offer you all that much against them. I feel like you need the Death Ward for the sustained and more bursty damage output, but
or you need burning to get damage items.
But
I love seeing the Aghanims. I love seeing the Aghanims. I think it's really good, especially, well, the cooldown gets dropped down to 70, which is a massive reduction. Of course, the jump counter is increased, but you need to remember you're getting it, what you're getting it instead of. So even if you have damage items, you could say, okay, well, during Aghanim Scepter, guess what? Even those damage items buff up your Aghanims because you get the normal hits off in between. Whereas the Aghanims extends the duration, but if the swings you get off in between aren't that good, as we have another lag, then that isn't really that helpful. So I think if Burning gets a damage item now, I'm looking for an Abyssal. I think it's the choice. He has a Blink Dagger now. Blink Abyssal the Sniper, burst him down, or do it on the IO perhaps, if possible, and then work from there. But it might not be high ground time again for BG. Even when they get the Aegis, I still think it could be scary.
They may want to try and force out some mistakes from Rave, who are leaving their base a lot more freely. So they'll be more in the open, potentially could be picked off here. BG for now pushing out the lanes, waiting for the next Roshan. Rave staying back on Jayo. He's completed a Mantis Tail now, still does not have that turbo farm of the Shadow Fiend or Jug. He'll probably need another big team fight to get on their level. For now, Rave still not feeling like they really want to move towards the Roche pit. We're not seeing any ward attempts from them. They're just content to squeeze what farm they can off the map before that respawn. It's going to be up in 1 minute here. Butterfly about to come out for Shao 8. Up against some decent right-click from the Sniper. This is a pretty strong item on him. But there's still a lot of damage it won't block. You've got to worry about the Quill stacks, as well as the potential for an X-Culling Blade once he gets into the danger zone.
And it's weird to see how Big God are moving right now. They have an entire jungle at their disposal that they're not farming. They're really waiting for this Roshan, effectively kind of wasting their time.
And the thing is, Rave's not actually playing aggro at all.
No, that's the point. They could farm the jungle a bit, and now Burning is going to finally go there. There's the Butterfly for the Shadow Fiend. Big pickup. But since he went for the Manta instead of the Skadi, I don't know how much of a difference that would have made in that base siege. I didn't really feel the Manta putting any pressure. It means effectively he's still not that tanky. You've got the evasion, which is great, but you can't evade headshot. Bristleback deals a lot of his damage just over time from the quills. You also can't evade those. And you can't evade your own attacks when you're getting... The counter helix is also not evadable, so... Avoidable. Evadable, is that a word? Now it is.
It can't be evaded.
Evadable sounds good. But...
I don't know if it's actually a word, but it sounds good. That's all that counts.
Yeah. I've invented words before.
Not the first time you screwed something up.
Thank you very much.
BG will go for that Roshan. They'll drop the wards here. Actually committing the wards is a little surprising.
Yeah, because Burning was there, and this is an easy kill anyway. I guess this shows respect to Rave. They're worried that if it takes them too long, they're going to get counterplayed, and they don't want to risk it.
So with the wards down, BG, I imagine they'll want to wait until those are available again. Now they're going to go right down mid.
Definitely recommend that.
As soon as I say that, it's a cue for them to go down mid. Yeah. No, they're going to back off and wait.
What items do we have for Rave? There's finally the mech on IO. It's a late pickup, but it can still make the world of difference, especially when you get the extra heal on your tethered target. Sniper finished Manta quite a while ago, has 2500. Could get the Mjolnir soon if that's what he wants, or a damage item. Bristle with 3k. And Axe working on an Ag Scepter, it looks like. Something we haven't really seen that much.
Do you think there's any chance this is a halberd?
It could also be a halberd, that's true.
Also, I do want to point out, Juggernaut got his Basher, so looks like might be working with that Abyssal Blade, and then you have the potential for the Blink Abyssal either blowing up the Sniper, maybe the Wisp, depending on if Relocate and Tether have already been used or not, but it gives BG that Assassin option that they've been a bit lacking. Like, Centaur blinks in. First of all, the Stomp's not that guaranteed, and then secondly, even if you get it, it's not that much burst. But with the Abyssal Blink Jug, then you're talking about some easy kill potential.
Yeah, even a hero like Bristleback will need to be somewhat careful at that point. If he gets Blink Abyssal, then Juggernaut gets to lay into him from the front in the beginning, and then when he starts turning his back, he Omnislashes. I think, so this is something I'm not 100% sure of, but I think the way Omnislash works is that it jumps around the target. I don't know if it follows a direct pattern or if it's pseudo-random or just full RNG what side you attack the target from, but that's actually important against Bristle.
I believe it's random.
So some of the swings of the Omnislash will be from the front, and others will be from the back. So what he should do in killing Bristle is you Blink Abyssal him, you use the entire Abyssal duration laying into his front, and the moment he gets to turn his rear to you, that's when you Omni. That should be the most effective way of doing it.
Yeah, I don't know if he's the target they want.
He isn't, by any means. He definitely isn't.
Well,
But
speaking of that, Bristle, we might find out how durable he is. Blink, Hex to start. We're going to follow up with the Shackles from Lanham. And in comes
Relocate.
RTK. Now the burning initiation, but he gets relocated out. Well played by the Wisp. And it'll cost them a Wisp, most likely.
I think they want to fight.
They want to try and tether back
This
in,
is
perhaps.
risky as hell if they
Stolen
go
the
in.
Stampede. Death Ward already being dropped just to discourage it, and they're still going in. Ryo just chomping onto Xiaowei, trying to bring him down. He stands strong for now, but Ninja Boogie now has to back and run. The Requiem comes out. The Omni Slash doing too much work from Burning. It forces two back. It also forces out a buyback as the Axe tries to hold the line with the second life, but they have a Bristle who's not buying back yet. He's going to need to quickly. Now, Ninja Boogie coming in. Will this be the big turnaround again? Hard to say. Ryo in the front, working on Xiaowei, but with the Butterfly and the Healing Ward, he's kept alive for a long time. They gotta kill this ward. Somebody finish it off. The Sniper can't get to it. There's your Blink call. Once again on 3. Ninja Boogie, he needs to make more happen. They've gotten the 1. They need more. Cheese pop by RTK. Xiaowei coming back. 2 extra lives for these 2 veteran players. They dunk 1. They chase onto a second, and Xiaowei has no TP. They assassinate from range. They're gonna chop him down as well. No, actually no mana. They'll get the kill anyway, though. 3 dead. Buyback not available on the Centaur, and they didn't get a Rex, and they didn't get a Rex. That's the key. Rave barreling down mid. Even after the Bristle buyback, they still come out on top in terms of gold here. And that's through an Aegis and a Cheese.
Yeah, Big God used so much in the initial fight. In the moment, the timing of the buyback from Ryo, perfect. He buys back, and BG, they want to pull out. When that buyback comes, that's what they were aiming for. They force the buyback, and then they run out. But simultaneously, Axe Blink calls 2 of them. At the end of the day, it's still a mistake from Big God to get called 2. Ideally, they only get called the Shadow Shaman or the Shadow Fiend, and that changes things. But man, Ninja Boogie is just finding so many openings for Rave. Has really kept them in the game so far, and it's kind of weird. He has a 4-3-2 score to show for it. He's set up. I mean, they don't really have that many kills, but he's been in 6 of 8 out of them, and all those 8 kills have been so important, or at least 6 of them, I want to say, have been on their own high ground.
And speaking of Ninja Boogie, it looks like he is going for that completed Sanj. Or no, sorry, not yeah, Ninja Boogie on the Axe. So maybe working into the Heaven's Halberd. Sanj not really a casual item you get on the Axe. So
no, definitely
the
not.
evasion going to be really nice against BG to help him tank up. Also, the disarm for a Juggernaut could be very important here in the upcoming fights. No BKB on him. We're having another lag spike, unfortunately. Servers have had some issues in this game. Well, okay, it'll get paused. Fortunately, the lag spikes have not come out in team fights, but
yeah, that's true. That would be really scary. I think if we get a spike in the middle of a fight, it probably favors Rave, actually. Just in terms of, I don't know. It's difficult to say. If they're fighting in the Serpent Wards and Burning is not being attacked and he just gets to lay into them, I think they lose. But if the Serpent Wards aren't there, if Sniper's just standing at a good range, getting to attack freely, if Axe has already got the call off and the Bristle is just hitting the right target, well, we're theory crafting about who has the advantage when no one can play their heroes. I mean, that's kind of weird in itself, I guess.
Well, it's what happens when we have those kinds of spikes, I guess. Big God. It looked easy for them, but that one bad push mid has set them back so much. It's very close to an even game at this point. Still both teams with strong late game, but Sniper begins to work towards scary late game status. He's picked up a completed Mjolnir, and what a great team it is to throw that static charge on. You've got the Axe or the Bristle, both fantastic carriers for it. This gives them a lot of additional DPS, and it makes it even more discouraging to try and focus those 2 tanks in the front line down. I like this pickup.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but the way Mjolnir works is that the static charge triggers before you hit, right? It's when you're being attacked, not when you take damage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so.
Because that's actually relevant now that Axe has evasion. Because else all the missed shots can't proc static charge, but I think they can. And I think he is the target.
Lanham up on the high ground. Ryo walking directly into 4 heroes. The Abyssal and Maledict used as well. Ninja Boogie needs to save this. There's the relocate out. Lanham gonna get junked first. He tanks the entire Death Ward, survives, and looks to turn it around. He might chop RTK. No, he's a bit early on that one. RTK able to retreat out that Centaur on just a sliver of HP, but here comes the Bristleback. Moving forward with Jo at his side. Xiaowei on the run. He's been isolated. He'll tank and assassinate assassinate to the back, and he gets chased down continuously, pounded into submission, still has the buyback.
These relocates from Chrissy, that looked like such a good opener for BG, but they can't kill. The one target they find is the one they can't kill during the Hex. The Bristle is the one scouting it out. Easily gets taken home by the IO. They waste the Omnislash entirely. And once again, Rave get a really good fight. It's only 2 kills, and it's not the end of the world in terms of gold for BG since it's a fairly even game. But they get time. And Sniper, did he get one of the kills? He got the Shadow Fiend kill, probably the biggest one of those 2. His next item is not that far away.
MKB, gotta be the item at this point for JO, I imagine.
Or maybe a Daedalus.
It's up against double Butterfly, though.
Headshot can't miss.
Oh, that's true. But
so it's still really good, MKB.
Yeah. I guess either way, the point is he's close to the next damage item. Meanwhile, Bristleback has a Shiva's Guard, I believe, or maybe that's an AC coming out soon. Another tank item. Assault Cuirass will be the choice. Great synergy with all this physical damage. Uh-oh, bottom side of the map, we're going to have an Initiation Burning. Able to assassinate that Chrissy Wisp. Puts him on a mega kill streak. He's got Abyssal Blade Gold if he wants it. We'll see what the choice is from him. Maybe he just sits on the Basher for now, and again the packet loss. This is just unfortunate.
And when we see Burning go and find a solo killer like this, it makes me wonder, do Big God even need to be scared of farming the Radiant Jungle with their Juggernaut? Who's going to kill him when he goes in there? He can actually, against this team, the only thing that really gets him caught in the first place is Berserker's Call.
Yeah.
After that, he can spin TP. So if they can't burst him down through that, he gets out.
If they want to kill him, like the sniper has to be attacking him as soon as the call happens.
Yes.
Else he'll just be able to live and then just run away or TP out.
So I think Big God are actually... I understand that they're showing respect to Rave because they have been playing a really good series, apart from Game 2, which, I mean, was just flat out strategizing. But both Game 1 and Game 3, they've shown how good they are at holding their own side of the map. But I still think Big God can be more effective and drain more resources away from Rave. Effectively, they've been leading the game a lot and haven't really controlled the enemy jungle that much, which is can in part be attributed to the fact that Rave have done a good job at getting some vision out once in a while and somewhat being intimidating and off the map, but at the same time, Big God could probably have got a little bit more out of it. As we have more delay.
Have another pause here, although...
They're out of pauses. Well, what's the deal?
I'm not sure.
Or maybe it disappeared. I don't know. Maybe it went away.
All right, well, guess
we
we're
talked
playing
about
again.
the heart on Centaur, by the way. Did we mention that?
No, well, we showed it, but we did not talk about it.
So this is a great item on Centaur for a couple of reasons. Of course, Stampede scales with strength, and that scales on all Stampede targets. All of his allies do more damage. It's based off of the Centaur strength, not the individual ally. And, of course, allows it return scales with it. And when you're playing against a lineup, for example, a sniper who attacks really fast but doesn't hit that hard yet, if he lays into the Centaur, he actually takes quite significant damage. So it is a nice pickup here for OTK. I'm wondering what he goes next. There has to be maybe a Halberd would be a nice choice, I think. Sniper's still playing without BKB.
It's just so hard to jump the sniper.
Do they have an AC? They don't, right? It's the Radiant who have an AC on the Bristle now.
Yes.
Do they have a Vlad's?
No.
They also don't have a Vlad's. That is value right now for Big God. Vlad's is such a good pickup. Works for the Juggernaut lifesteal, damage aura, armor aura against a team that's so heavily based on physical. I'm actually surprised that they haven't got a Vlad's already. And in some ways, it would have even been a better pickup than the Heart. As surprising as that may sound on Centaur, who's one of the best heroes to get Heart on, Vlad's would just be amazing.
Oh, jeez. 3 players now disconnected. Your climactic Game 3. We're being denied that great climax as of yet. Oh, this is painful to watch.
It's painful to play, too.
Yeah, and it disrupts the momentum of the game. If you're Rave, you're just riding so high after the way some of those fights turned. You're really feeling on top of your A game, and now with the disconnects, the game kind of resets a bit. I mean, it's not like it's not like a TI3 or TI2 where they play game 1 of a series and then wait the next day to play games 2 and 3, but Dota's just it's a very tempo-driven game in a lot of ways, emotionally driven, and this takes you away from that a bit. Yeah. Can be good, can be bad, depending on your situation.
Looks like it was a short pause.
Yeah,
in some ways,
short pauses are adding up.
In some ways, I want to compare it to a game of tennis, and then it starts raining. I think those two are very similar, where one player in the tennis match will often be on a roll, and the other player will not really be able to get a break and pull themselves together and really reevaluate the situation, take some time with their coach. But when there is that rain delay, then all of a sudden things can change. This was a short pause, though. I think when you reach the point when the pause is like 5 or 10 minutes longer, it disrupts the game.
Yeah.
This is a 1-minute pause, and they're still in the zone.
Yeah.
So.
We just haven't had action, so I suppose in that sense it's... Oh, no.
So what if we take, instead of one long pause, what if we take 10 1-minute pauses instead of 1 10-minute pause?
I think it's worse at that point. Because it's effectively 20 minutes of not just playing fluid Dota, right?
Yeah.
Well, or 15 minutes, however long the gameplay segments are. But none of it really feels continuous.
Ka-fucking-lay.
Kaka.
Kakale.
Kakale. What was the other one that someone said the other day? It wasn't Kale, it was something Ka.
Hauka.
Hauka.
I think.
Were they just flaming How?
No.
Flaming How for
I was
the leg?
mentioning that too. That made us remember Newbie again when he said that, actually.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace.
It's just an interesting time in the Chinese Dota scene. You've got all these veteran players likely to come back. Burning, Xiaowei have basically said they are. Who knows if Lana might, ROTK might make their return. And Big God, Xiaowei already said he basically said I'm joining a real team after this event.
I'm joining a real team.
Not playing with these scrubs anymore. I mean, have you seen ROTK they all played lately?
Can't even carry us. We can't even get top 4 with our put together team just for this tournament. I'm done with you guys.
I'm sick of these guys, but
only $150,000. I made that per day at TI4.
It's beneath me. I wish I could just have never participated in the tournament in the first place. It's lowering his winnings per tournament average. Come on, Sin. He's a numbers guy. Everyone who plays Dota is.
Here goes Roche number 4. Oh, Ninja Boogie really close to catching Ice in the top lane. Off by a little bit. Who got the cheese? They put it onto the Centaur. Probably the best hero to get it on. He can actually benefit from the entire 2,500 health.
Most likely to get to use it, I guess, besides the Shadow Fiend. And he's already got the Satanic as well.
Yes.
And the Aegis, so.
I mean, on paper, this game, the golden experience is dead even. I still think the pressure is on Rave because now that they don't have any buybacks on the Bristleback, they cannot make a mistake with him. Bristle doesn't have buyback, Io doesn't have buyback. Axe, Sniper, and Rubik do. But if you're in Rave's shoes, you probably need to use the gold on Sniper so you can scale with the opponent's strength. If you hold on to gold and you buy back, sure, you come back, but it doesn't really matter when you just plink away at the enemy team instead of actually firing some sort of armor-piercing bullets that he
apparently has not been able to find yet.
He doesn't really have much to show for that yet.
He is lacking damage. I feel like his next item has to be something that hits a little bit harder. Let's see. What he is looking to buy something here. At the same time, the Xiaowei hunting. They've got a ward. They saw this courier. Uh-oh. This could be bad.
He's not using Flutter.
Xiaowei, you got to learn to fly, man. Uh-oh, he's seen it. He's got a blink.
He actually goes for the blink.
Oh,
he's stuck.
Trapped, but there's nobody even in the neighborhood. They have a relocate.
Oh, he mantas out. What a player.
Oh, man. The team was close enough that I think if they relocate on him, he doesn't die, and they actually probably kill both heroes. So.
And they would have paused on the relocate. And had time to strategize.
And of course, and at this point with the amount of legitimate server lag, you can tactical pause whenever you want and just say Kale.
You just pause, and then you do nothing, and then after 10 seconds you write lag.
Oh my. Well, you know, you were talking to Shannon about ways to cheat, and this is the best way to cheat. Just make sure the server's a little laggy, and then just do whatever the hell you want with pauses.
Pull your cable a little bit. Oops!
Oops, my Ethernet cable came out. My foot must have slipped. Oh
wow.
My.
Look at that Shadow Fiend pose, though. It sucks I can't zoom like this. Give us the...
What is with
Give us the
hands?
portrait view of that. Look at that.
He looks like a gorilla Shadow Fiend. Look at these gigantic... Look at those hands. Those are just enormous. They're bigger than his head. His hands are bigger than his head.
Damn, this is reminding me of some sort of mob in a game, and I can't remember what it is. That's like moving with its hands like that, crawling a little bit like a ghost. This, for some reason, this seems so familiar.
Is it from like a platformer?
I think it's reminding me of the Hydralisk. You know, it's moving with its like arms and then it's going.
The way they move, yeah.
Yeah, the way the arms.
the
move. Okay,
proportions
the
are
model
all
is
off.
not reminding me of a Hydralisk. I'm not insane, okay? But the
I
way
don't know,
those
man.
arms
You were in
are
the
placed.
kitchen for a while
So
during the
backwards
break.
and then using them to move with.
Yeah.
This would make more sense if we were on camera. I'm actually doing this move right now. No one has any idea what I'm doing. Hey, LT, you get it? Yeah, sure. No one else sees that.
Do your Hydralisk. Oh, Sind. Do you think Rave have it? If you had to just lay it on the table right now, do you think they can do it?
Rave?
Yeah.
Certainly. This game is almost dead even.
Golden experience-wise, it certainly is.
I still think the really difficult thing for Rave, even though Golden Experience is even, they seem like they can't cross the river. Because what the advantage they've had in all the fights on their side is that they've been able to pull off the defensive relocate very easily, because Io's been close to own base. And they've had buybacks, which they can't pull out in a Roche fight, and they can't pull out in the enemy base. So,
Well, good news for them is they've just let Big God have every Roche.
yeah,
so
they've still
they don't
helped.
have to Roche fight.
But realistically, the problem here is that Rave has played so well, and because of that, they're narrowly in it. If they would have had any bad fight, they would have lost 2 lanes. Like, they need to keep playing perfectly, and that's a lot of pressure.
The Pinoy squad that could. This would be... I mean, it already is by far the most impressive placement for a Filipino team ever at an event.
What?
What is going on here? How is that even possible? Why is that the only thing moving? And it's got like a little... It's like it's alive. Is there something trapped in there? It's like an animal desperately trying to get out.
Help, I'm stuck
I've been
in the base.
imprisoned by this evil armadillo.
Whatever is pausing the game is inside this.
If we just unleash it, then the game will resume. Ryo, you have to let it go.
Throw your flail into the air and hope it breaks.
You know what? He's got Ice Frog in there. That's why the server's lagging. He's killing Ice Frog, which is destroying the server.
That's one way of.
But he has the essence of Ice Frog, lending him his strength.
I think there's a little faceless void inside that little void baby.
Little baby.
Little void
Ugh.
baby moving.
That's an ugly baby. Imagine if you birthed one of those. It's like, I gave birth to this? I don't even want to know about my heritage anymore.
Well, I guess at least it's not crying when it gets born without a face, so... Oh, he still has a mouth. He still talks, so I guess he can cry. Well... This is so tense for both teams, though. Like, this... Getting this many pauses in the elimination game, the last of a best of 3, 44 minutes in... I just hope after this pause that we don't just get one fight where one of the teams isn't in the zone and they just lose. That would be a big, big shame.
The tension is going to start slipping out of their bodies, though, at this rate. If the game doesn't mosey along soon.
We have 6-digit viewers looking at a Shadow Shaman standing in the water right now.
I am so sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
Production value, high entertainment.
We're back underway.
High levels of entertainment.
For those, many of you just tuning in, this is your deciding Game 3 winner of Rave versus Big God, guaranteed top 4 at the Dota 2 Asia Championships. They're already into the 6-digit prize money and rising. This is a huge match for both teams. Rave, they've had so many comebacks just to stay alive, just to have a shot in this one. First against IG in Game 1 earlier today, again in Game 1 versus Big God. And well, Sind, now, if they could just win this match, they'll face the winner of Cloud9 versus Secret. That match coming up directly after this. We've still got another amazing best of 3 to be played as soon as this one's over. But first, we have to close the book on the story of Rave versus Big God.
Rave are going to smoke and run in circles inside their base. They have 2 non-smokers, Io and Sniper staying healthy.
Keeping their lungs pure. Zyclops would be very disappointed in them.
As Jo is building a Scotty, I really disagree with this. I think this is... So out of everything in this game so far, I haven't really been able to fault Rave for that much. I think this is misanalyzing the situation, honestly. I don't think Scotty is the choice at this point.
What would you prefer, the MKB or the Daedalus still that we were talking about earlier?
Yeah, for sure. Because actually the way the fights turn out, it seems like he's pretty good at keeping his distance. He's died once in this 45-minute game.
And they're
they're
never even really close to him. He's never been Abyssal Blade Blink assassinated. The Centaur's never gotten near him. They have to fight past the Bristle, the defensive relocate, and the Axe to even get there.
And although the Skadi is great for locking on a target and keeping them slowed down, they already have headshot for that. And I don't think the problem is chasing Big God down once they get ahead in the fight. They've been able to do that easily so far. So Skadi is a flavor item these days. We see it picked up on a lot of heroes that didn't used to get it. We've seen it on Juggernaut, we've seen it on Troll, we've seen it on Sniper, we've seen it on Drow. It's getting a lot more love. This is not the reason you get it right now.
Well, we'll see how that item works out. There's teams wanting to try again, but
pretty big crowd for this.
Yeah, they've definitely come out in force for Big God, I imagine. Got to be the hometown favorites. Maybe a few Rave fans lurking out there. Everybody waiting with bated breath to see how this one's going to unfold. In the mid lane, your Shadow Fiend and Sniper just kind of eyeing each other across the way, both trying to flex their muscles. I don't know if you can really mess with those gorilla hands, though. If it comes to a fight, I'm pretty sure Xiaoyi could rip the Sniper's head off with one fell swoop. He's got to rely on his buddies while he fights from range. And they still sit back and wait. BG's trying to map control a bit more now, it seems. 3 heroes moving through the Radiant Woods. I believe, yeah, still sitting on the Aegis for a couple of minutes. Actually not sure exactly what the Roche timer is at this point, but I believe they've got at least a few. Oh, we don't get the timer after all these pauses, I guess. That too has been denied to us.
The game itself has forgotten how long it is. There's the BKB for Xiaoyi. What did he sell? Mech, I think. Okay, so what's he going to block with this? He's going to block Telekinesis, whatever Rubik has, Assassinate, Shrapnel, and Spirits. It's not really that amazing, but he can also block the Halberd. I think that might be the bigger thing.
That's probably the biggest thing, to be honest. It's a 10-second BKB. That means unmitigated right-clicking potential if he's able to stay away from this axe. And we'll have a full 10-man disconnect. Oh my goodness.
Okay, so have a look at the reliable gold on Sniper here. He just bought his Skadi. He is 5 reliable gold short for buyback. This is where he should have probably waited 10 seconds or maybe a bit more to buy the Skadi, because obviously his gold is going to tick up, his unreliable gold is going to tick up, but the buyback cost will increase as well. So this is a really unfortunate timing if Sniper gets caught out now, because, well, his buyback cost is going to be higher than his reliable gold until he gets a kill or an assist right now.
Mm-hmm.
And if he dies, he is now level 20, so he will lose 25 times his level in gold, which is 500. So it's a little bit of a buffer window. BG obviously don't know this, but this is kind of risky. And it's something that players have become more aware of, how important reliable gold is.
Yeah, we see it especially early in the laning stage, or when a player's about to die, they'll make sure to buy that extra TP scroll, or even a pair of wards, just to ensure that their reliable gold is still preserved, but they don't lose anything to death. It's a bit harder at this stage of the game to plan it exactly right. By the way, chat did correct us. It was actually a Blink Dagger that he sold. I think he sold the mech. I think he sold the mech
earlier.
Ago. Yeah.
Okay.
So, just a redaction for the
This is not really a Blink game anymore either. He needs to play as the siege tank more or less. Just go in front, soak up damage. If Rave really tries to commit onto him, he has both Manta and Satanic defensively, now also the BKB, and they need to kill him twice. On paper, this should be extremely hard for Rave to deal with, but
they don't have burst at all. Like, their burst is Sniper auto attacks with totally utility-based items. Even the Mjolnir is not really a pure DPS item.
Especially not against BKB.
Yeah.
That's another thing we didn't mention.
That makes it a little bit more promising. The headshot damage is also magical, right? Or is it physical?
The headshot, oh, that's a good question. I think it's magical. Oh, never mind. It's physical.
Oh, it's physical. Do you know does the attack speed slow does go through BKB, right? Does it? I think it should say a few mouse.
I want to say no, but man, these are so difficult to remember because there's headshot, there's bash, there's basher, and there's MKB,
and they're all a bit different.
Historically, they've worked very differently in Dota 1, and then there's been some sort of streamlining of them, but I still think there are some odd ones out, and it's always difficult to remember which one is.
According to the latest tooltips, it says that it does not pierce spell immunity and it's physical.
Yeah. So the damage goes through, but the effect does not.
Not the effect, and that's actually pretty important because it really mitigates the Shadow Fiend's actual effective damage output if he's having that attack speed slow.
So that's another good point about the BKB. That might be another of the main reasons he's picking it up, actually, since
it looks like
it was annoying in the last fight for him.
It looks like a pretty terrible BKB game at first, but the more you really dive into some of these mechanics, it may end up being a game changer. We'll see. Rave now, the unpause is here. Not exactly sure on the Roshan respawn. This is where you really hope the players did write down the time. If they didn't in this type of game, though, it's just not a mistake you'd expect from either team. They'll now work on the Ancients. Xiao 8, confident in his movements around the map. Running out of inventory slots. We haven't really looked at Burning much recently. He got the Abyssal Blade a while ago. Has 5k gold up. And if Xiao 8's the siege tank, then Burning is definitely the assassin at this point. He's the one that just wants to find the backliners and blow them up. Maybe can kill off one of the tanks, but ideally, if he could just kill off the sniper right away, potentially even that Wisp, that will be a game changer. And Synd, at long last, we're going to have a move from Rave. They get out active on the map.
They know the Aegis is gone.
And they want to try and make something happen.
We got an extremely long Roche respawn, by the way. Or not extremely, but higher than 10 minutes.
Okay. Do you have the timer?
It just showed on the side for a moment. 5:17.
I was turning away.
And it shows when you lose the Aegis. So.
Gotcha. Oh no. And now this is it's one thing when it's a lag spike and they're just sitting in their base, but when they're actively on the smoke, it's impossible for BG not to just start evaluating the map more and start to get suspicious if there's any reason to be.
Yeah. What would you buy on Burning now? And what would you sell?
What is he sitting on right now? I mean, what are the most replaceable items here? The Sanjin Yasha... Actually, none of these except for Abyssal are a clear late game item.
No.
The Ags is... I think it works pretty well late if you have other strong items. Like, if you got a Butterfly, the Ags does a lot. You have more regular slashes, more opportunities for the extra slashes in between them. I think you really want the Blink for the assassination potential, so I would say either the Sanjin Yasha or the Mask of Madness. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, so probably the Mask, right?
Yeah, it's the cheaper
For
item.
now.
Maybe you replace that with a Butterfly.
That was what I was thinking. Mask into Butter would probably be good. Alternatively, there is still the possibility of a Scotty. I don't think that's really necessary at this point. I don't think he needs the tank ability, and if he does, he still gets the evasion, which, of course, Headshot doesn't miss against, but the other heroes will, and
it's only
other sniper attacks.
Still 40% chance. So
yeah. What else is really on the table? He could get an MKB.
The only other thing I'm wondering about...
Or AC.
AC wouldn't be bad.
I think it's good, too.
I mean, it's a little bit outside the box, but I even feel like a Hex would not be terrible, just because the Abyssal Blade is a fairly low... I guess you have the Omni Slash to get on top of.
How about Refresher? 2 Abyssals, 2 Omni Slashes. He has the mana pool.
That would be really good.
I actually think... I think...
Refresher might be better than the Butterfly.
Yeah, it's Butterfly, Refresher, or...
I don't really like the Scotty that much.
No,
it feels
me neither.
underwhelming to me.
But Butterfly, Refresher, or MKB, I think, for me, would be the choices. And the more I think about it, the better the Refresher is, actually. So, does he have mana for it, though? It costs 700 to use ulti twice. The Refresher costs 375. That's 1,075, and he has 1,073. That's unfortunate, Burning. You cannot do this build. He's almost level 23, then he has enough. But then he needs full mana, and he cannot use Mask of Madness.
But he gets some int from the Oblivion staff, right?
Yeah, true. He gets a bit of mana. So
he'd
and he is replacing the
enough,
Mask.
but then he can't Healing Ward.
That's true.
I don't know if he can
Right.
Abyssal twice, because that has a small mana cost as well. So.
Yeah, it has 100, under 50 actually. So yeah,
He can't
that's
Abyssal
true.
at all. Yeah, maybe Refresher, he doesn't go for it now. Maybe he does get the Scotty then, just to give him the mana pool. But it's a lot of theory crafting.
Or a Manta that would also give him enough mana, actually.
Yeah.
But then he can't use the Manta because that also costs mana. It's tricky, actually.
Jug's got mana issues, actually, the more that we talk about it.
Yeah.
This is the new Faceless Void.
It's hard to believe it. This is a Jugger with Aghanim Scepter and almost level 23.
Yeah.
And he's still going to have mana issues with our recommended build.
Oh, well, I don't think Burning takes recommendations.
Me neither. Well, we'll see what his choice is. I think... So the Refresher, correct me if I'm wrong, only gives the 6 int as mana, right? I think so. Let me just check. Yes, 6 intelligence is all the mana
It's like
gain.
just enough.
So that's 6 times 13 is 78. So he can actually use 2 ultimates, both of them with Mask of Madness, but then not use Abyssal. And Abyssal is arguably way more important than the Mask of
All
Madness.
right. Well, Rave, their smoke gank didn't work.
But who
It's
cares? He's
BG's
not
turn
buying
to
it.
smoke. We're going to have a huge clash here, potentially. Hopefully no pauses. Come on, servers, hang on. This is a big game. We need you to stay strong for now. Rave tucked away in their own base, up against it. It's a dead even heat. Smoke is available for the Radiant squad, as BG won't actually find any openings here. They are out of smokes. And then nothing. Back to farming for now. BG still waiting. They're going to see the sniper showing his pretty little head top. He's clearing out the wave, but they also know if he's the only one showing, there's got to be 4 heroes in the neighborhood, so they're not going to go for it.
Yeah, I think BG wait for the next Roche. Do they still have the cheese? Yeah, they do. So they can start a store if they wait long enough. Maybe start selling cheese to the neutral camps. Get a little trade-off. If you buy 2 cheeses, we get your aura, okay?
They'll send their best troops to battle for you. They'll send a whole flock of centaurs and kobolds.
Have you seen the dragons? They look extremely hungry. They could.
I was doing camera for you
cheese.
guys the other day. The derp wagon dragons.
They could use some cheese. Wrong camp weapons. Check the other one before it's dead. Oh, you're too late. Oh, there we go. Oh,
it's actually the
Not enough
ugliest model I've ever seen. Whose idea was that? There's so many amazing models in this game. That's the funny thing. But it wouldn't stand out if they were all ugly. But
I still can't believe how goofy that looks. It's amazing.
I almost hope they don't change it.
Yeah.
How can you improve on perfection?
And it's called like Ancient Black Dragon. That gives
like
me
a
another
derpy
image
show.
in my head.
Just a warning shot here, passed off to Shao 8. As BG continue to relax on their side of the map. And we have a good old-fashioned standoff, Send. It's a great way to move into this deciding game 3. 50 minutes in, it's probably been closer to a 70-minute match with the pauses, if not more.
Yeah.
And counting. Do they wait for the next Roche? It's only 2.5 minutes off. Seems kind of silly not to at this point if you're BG.
They definitely should.
Well, here we go again. You've done a good job so far. You haven't cracked under the pressure, you know. You had your coffee, although I see you're running low. Perhaps the squeal's coming out. That was his way of saying he needs more coffee production.
I actually don't like coffee, and it's not a coffee.
What is it? It's a mocha latte.
Yeah, it's something Sunsfan got me introduced to me. He was like, "You have to try this," and it's called
like a sugary coffee drink.
Yes, basically, because
Mostly sugar,
Shannon is a
coffee.
sucker for everything that's got sugar in it. So everything like drinks, he loves sweet drinks. So he told me to try this. It's called what was it? Salted caramel.
Salted
caramel. Frappuccino.
Why salted?
Sweeten the salt and the sugar together is pretty good. That's a classic in lots of drinks and lots of food to have salt and sugar together.
Well,
it works. I tell you, this is good stuff. But caffeine level in it is non-existent, I think. So not really getting much of a kick out of that.
Well, you could always go full Greg and just start slamming back the caffeine pills if the
go
mood
full
strikes.
Greg and have a look at the bar.
While slamming back caffeine pills.
The combo.
It's the perfect storm. Thank you all for joining us, guys. We hope the pause issues resume soon. Until then, you're stuck with us. How's our panel hanging in there? I wonder if they've got any thoughts on the game. Are they even awake? I bet we'll walk in there. They're all conked out.
Right when we talk about them, the game starts. This is a sign.
They dodged. They're the ones pausing just to. This is the ultimate revenge, Sid.
Bruno's just pulling a plug in there.
Bruno said he would have his revenge, and then he made like the lamest joke ever to try and get even with us. And now all of a sudden, catastrophe hits the servers.
Then we made fun of his
I wonder
joke.
who's behind it all. If you want the pauses to stop, tweet at StatsmanBruno.
Oh
Mercy,
boy, you
please.
have started an avalanche, and I love
His
it.
phone's going to die. Rave now. Still hanging back. The sniper, at this point, it has to be a big damage item that he goes for next. He's
Lo and behold, the next item is
it's a heart.
SNY.
The casual heart.
SNY, come on.
Yeah, the SNY Mask of Madness Manta Love. Burning pulling a Mushi here, sitting on that 8k gold.
Burning, it's decision time. You cannot run around with this much gold in such an important and close game. Shadow Shaman, big item.
This actually, it could be a big item. With the bottom lane, looks like there was an attempted jump by the Axe, but Burning just gonna blink on out of there. in the nick of time. If he gets the call, then suddenly they relocate in. So that is actually 3 heroes going for the gank there.
I don't even know if they can kill him during that, though.
Yeah.
They really don't have the damage. He should be able to live and then maybe can turn on them and get some TP support. So
In fact, it's entirely possible he Omni Slashes and he kills all 3. At least 2 heroes. He's quite
Io
scary
doesn't
at
have
this point.
Ghost. That's true. He could kill Io very easily.
Double Damager and picked up by one of the least intimidating double Damager in heroes.
Well, it's a lot harder than Sniper right now, that's for sure.
They're going to just relax near the Roshan pit. It's probably respawning fairly soon now as some Xiao 8 illusions. We'll do a bit of scouting. Pinged out now in the Radiant jungle. Xiao 8 going to work towards a Daedalus. About the time of the game where he runs out of inventory slots. And end of the day, these two are pretty much at full capacity. Burning's got, I think, 8K gold. I don't know if he spent anything
Sold
yet.
Mask of Madness, and he's buying Butterfly. So
I mean, the other items that we've talked a lot about the carries, but like looking at the supports, there's a Witch Doctor. I don't even know if he has the Ags yet. We're 53 minutes in.
very far away. Went for Ghost.
He's so poor. That's just unbelievably poor. Ice is really playing that 6th position Witch Doctor. We'll have another DC and another pause. Unfortunate.
Happy,
At this-
happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy.
At this rate, the next best of 3 is going to be a 12-hour game. They'll still be playing when day 4 starts.
The grand finals in the lower bracket will be played at the same time.
They'll be played from the players' beds because they'll be too tired to move. Oh, man. Hey, Winter. Panel. Panel. Go panel. What? They're tired of hearing us. We may see if we can organize a panel to spare you guys. Are you really feeling happy, Sind?
I'm actually in a good mood, but it's slowly deteriorating with every
I want to see you get angry. I've never seen you angry before. So I'm almost hoping this continues.
You just want to see me suffer, don't you?
No, I'm just curious what you're like when you're angry. It's
Angry?
it's not an evil thing.
It's very rare, though, actually. You haven't been extremely fortunate to not see me angry. I generally don't really get angry, so... That's a good and a bad thing, I guess. Sometimes you need to get angry.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes shit's just wrong.
Now we're gonna go again. Let's come on. I'm feeling this one. I have good, positive emotions about this unpause. And I believe in this
Full jinx.
game continuing without delay. Full
Bruno
throttle.
just came downstairs. He's been up there for
Oh,
45
where have
minutes.
you been, Bruno? Huh?
No, he's been sabotaging the game. Now he feels like it's enough, and he's come downstairs. And
We've suffered enough, Bruno. Please. I'm so sorry.
I fixed it. Okay. If we get another lag, Bruno. If we get another lag, you know how
Stay
to,
where
you
we
know
can
how to tweet at.
Stay where we can watch you, Bruno.
Oh, wait, there was no lag. Damn, I got excited over a lag. Actually.
All right. Well, we'll try to get back to the game. Even the cats are running down now. Maybe he's enlisted one of them to engage in these special tactics. Demon Edge picked up now by Jo. It looks like the MKB or Daedalus will be the choice. I mean, is there any value in maybe even considering a straight rapier this game, do you think, for the sniper? Or is that just too risky?
I don't know how much more damage it deals than the Daedalus. That's the thing. If he had a Daedalus already, the rapier would be huge value for the money, but he doesn't have a built-in crit on this carry, so 300 flat damage is obviously a lot, but the Daedalus gives about 100 and a 2.5 crit, so it's like, all in all, the rapier still does more damage, but
it's riskier enough that maybe it's not the better choice.
yes. If he had the Daedalus already and they were still in this situation in 20 minutes, I think rapier is the way to go. But
Well, I have to say, Burning obviously watching the stream as he will sell the Mask of Madness, picks up the Butterfly. Clearly taking our advice to heart here.
And what's next? Do you think I think he sells SNY over Blink.
Yeah, I feel like the Blink is actually a part of his 6 slots. At least the way the game's going right now, where he needs some way to jump these backliners that do so much for the team. The Wisp, the Sniper. I mean, we haven't talked much about the Rubik. Potentially, Cass could be a game changer if he still Stampede like he did the other fight. Has the 4-staff Ghost, though, so not really the hero you want to be using your Omni Slash on. Speaking of Wisps, of which, does the Wisp have a Ghost Scepter yet? I don't know if we've talked about that. Has the gold for it, but is saving for buyback for now. And there's your MKB. And apparently your computer's not
My
reminding
computer
you.
had enough. It's just we're done. All right, I'll be watching the screen.
Well, we've got a fight brewing here. The Shao 8 will tank up a little bit. Ryo running in onto him. The Hex comes out. BKB pop right before Lanham can go in for the Stretch Armstrong Shackles. And on that note, Rave gonna blink on out of here, retreating towards the base. The Bristle BKB, an important item for this team. I don't know if it's enough for BG to confidently break high ground, but hell, it's an opening. They haven't really had anything that looks like one in a while. Assassinate on the Shao 8. He'll take a bit of damage here. Now zap down. They're going to go on him. Man, he drops fast to that call. That sniper just slaughters him. Can they kill him a second time? They've got a cast lift coming, but he BKBs and immediately retreats. Oh my, that sniper. Jesus, he hurts. With the MKB just wrecking him. That's the thing with late game Sniper Sin, is it gets to a point where you can't even walk in to throw an auto attack before you've lost half your health. The hero is that scary at defending the high ground. Well, BG are going to back off now. Lanham and Shao retreating out. BG, having lost the Aegis, do they start to feel frustrated? I mean, lag aside, even if that wasn't affecting their mentality, this is now 3 or 4 times they've tried to crack this base, can't even come close. And it's funny because it reminds me of the BG match earlier this tournament where, who was it that they were playing? Where they were down so much they lost 2 lanes. Oh, it was Cloud9, I believe, right? In game 1?
Yeah, Cloud9 against BG.
Yeah,
and BG were the ones defending.
BG were on the other side of the coin.
Yeah.
Or the other side of the table, where they were the ones that were trailing. BG were losing their base, were losing map control, but they never felt like they were out. Cloud9 took forever just to break 1 lane of Rex. Rave haven't even lost a single Rex. We're 57 minutes in. They're running out of inventory slots. I mean, it has to get to a point where they just feel like maybe we just can't go on the offensive anymore. Maybe we just have to wait for Rave to make a mistake.
Or maybe they have to try to split push.
Yeah.
But that's still really difficult against this team. There's relocate. The Axe can always initiate on the guy split pushing, and suddenly you lose a hero very fast. And well, they haven't even been forced to use their glyph, I think. So they will also have that for the split push defense. And wait, is he getting a BKB on the Juggernaut? What did he sell?
He had Ags, yeah.
He sold
Aghanim. Did he actually sell it, or?
I think so. He sold Axe for BKB. That I don't know. So
he's not going to be. The thing with the BKB on Jug is it's really nice if you can run and just auto attack. Right?
They might just be aiming to brute force Rex while under BKB.
But they have to worry about this blink call. That's the concern.
I don't know.
Because you get blink called and the sniper just choose you a new one. Speaking of which, that blink call would have been a kill, I think, if they get it off, but not able to find the opening. At this point, it's like you're a mad scientist, right? You're just tinkering in your lab, trying to figure out what the right item is. There's no easy answers here for BG, and they just like us are trying to figure it out as they go. Well, Rave, the ones who are sitting back, they're the subject of the experiment, but a very resilient one at that. Still hanging on. This Pinoy squad, they've been through the ringer today. They had a really grueling series versus IG, the opening match of the day, and then had to sit around and wait for hours and hours through the All-Star match, through the next BO3. And only now, in this deciding Game 3, are the lag pauses coming out. So far, so good. We'll pray that it continues that way as Rave just sit back and play defense. Big God still searching for any kind of easy way into the base. And just finding nothing. I mean,
maybe wait for the Axe refresher, Shadow Shaman.
Maybe, yeah, it's honestly like at this point you look at what items the carries can get, it's just there's no items that really stand out to you.
And another problem is, let's say you get a lane of Rex. It doesn't matter. You need Megas. It's like Megas or go home, basically.
And
now. Even Megas.
Now, Brave are not as good at defending against Megas as the Medusa lineup that we saw from Big God the other day. So I think Megas are pretty big, but I mean, not 100% guaranteed. There's a Wisp, maybe some slight base race potential here. Although this sniper is not really itemized in a way that maximizes his damage on buildings. A lot of magic damage, a lot of stuff that doesn't work on structures like the MKB. And we're having connection problems again. Oof. Well, hopefully nothing gonna happen to the players during this time. They get the pause off.
You're making it sound like it's a crucial spell. They just can't. They get the pause off.
Sometimes you have these lag spikes, and suddenly you find yourself like, halfway down the map the wrong direction.
Oh, that was close, but they get the pause off.
Wow!
Wow! But then the counterplay, the resume, it's from the Dire. It was actually also from the Radiant.
At the final hour.
And we're approaching epic territory in actual game time.
Kale!
10 seconds until 1 hour has passed in this game.
I mean, how many? It's got to. Honestly, at this point, I think we're looking at like an hour 45 minutes this game.
Yeah, and I think actual game time, I wouldn't be surprised to see this go 90 minutes plus.
Easily. Or it could end in just a matter of seconds. They get this blink call off top lane, second time the charm, and RTK will take some heavy harassment here. He'll back off and he'll be okay.
So much effort, now he has heart regen.
Yeah. He's got to work a little bit
They end
harder
up getting
now,
nothing out of it.
Oh. Burning, pushing out the middle lane. Now going to swing around towards top, no, towards the Ancients to join his team, while Ladham is ratting his way on the bottom side of the map.
Oh boy.
Just waiting for anybody to have an opening here.
All right, when's Roche?
Does it really matter at this point? The Aegises have been so non-consequential over the past 15, 20 minutes.
We need that Iron Cannon beacon, I'm telling you. We need the Iron Cannon beacon.
What's that?
6th Roche and onwards. Just start dropping
nukes their base.
Start dropping Iron Cannon beacons that you can place, and then it does damage in an AoE.
You're
like
worse than Lumi. Oh yeah, let's just, well, I guess at least it's something you have to earn. So it's not as bad as random explosions that do half your health and damage.
No, who would suggest that?
Lumi.
You've got to be really dumb to make a suggestion. Iron Cannon's
You're
where
my
it's at.
boy here. Come
Iron
on now.
Cannon's where it's at. That's a totally legit suggestion. You fight for it. It's a way of ending the game when it seems impossible to end it. You get an Iron Cannon from Roche.
I mean, it sounds really badass. So just for that, I want to give it like at least 2 stars off the bat.
And Valve already has the graphics for it, because if you remember what happened when the game went past 90 minutes, they could just use those raining meteors as the graphics for it.
Does the map break anymore? If
I
it
don't
goes long
think so.
enough?
I don't know that.
I can't believe Valve patched that out of the game. That was a feature that they took away from us.
Give us back
That compendium
our
stretch goal for TI5. Give us back the map breaking.
Give us back the most.
They're going to have a jump in.
Break.
I think. Under Io they go. There is a defensive relocate at the ready. They might have to use it here. He's hexed up, brought back all the way to the well, in fact.
Okay, so if everything
they
goes
engage.
as usual.
No, they're going to let the Wisp die this time.
I don't think so. Oh, yeah. Whoa. I don't know.
Are they? Stop. Oh, no, they bring the Bristleback back in. They're going to fight Chrissy. Almost dead off the bat. Will end up falling. Here's Juggernaut on the backside trying to do what work he can. And now brings down one, working his way onto Ninja Boogie. The sniper forced to buy back. He was assassinated by Burning off the bat. Nicely done. And now Cast on the run. Burning, finding the isolated heroes and just blowing them up. Wicked sick. Well, we talked about ease of execution, syndereN. This is one thing the sniper doesn't have. Positioning has to be perfect. Taking these fights outside the base, very dangerous. Episode 2 and Episode 1 of that fight, we saw the sniper not getting caught and just slowly working everyone down. But this time around, Burning finds him and just deals with him off the bat.
Nice work, everybody. 2 kills, 1 buyback.
Roche time.
Go Roche! They can't push, though. This is the right play. They use so many abilities. They have Omnislash on cooldown. He sold the Ag, so it's a pretty long cooldown now. They don't have Stampede ready. They don't have Death Ward. Shadow Fiend used BKB Manta and Requiem. So now you go for Roche. And next big item for Centaur, he's got a Hex. You said they were running out of slots. Even Centaur is reaching that territory now. Is just even looking at
even the Shaman.
The
he's
raw
about to have
last
Ags
hit
for
numbers.
pressure.
The last hit numbers. 2
600
heroes are
CS
now
with your Shadow Fiend.
3 heroes, 500 plus. Okay, Burning has 499. That's unfortunate, but 6 heroes in the game with more than 300 CS. And Io with 17.
How have we not seen a Late of Rex fall? 64 minutes
Cannot
in.
believe it.
Rave, these guys are making Big God look like slouches when it comes to base defense. And this team has been one of the best defensive squads in the entire tournament. But they just will not give up without a fight. Hex now coming up for Axe as well.
He has no buyback now.
I could be a lot
Who
bigger.
even has buyback for Rave? Only Bristle. And for Big God, both Burning and Xiao 8 on the Jugger Shadow Fiend.
And I believe they both have BOTs now as well, so... Well, actually none
No.
on Jug, but I mean, could buy them when he buys back.
Abyssal. No buyback on Bristle either. This is all in territory for Rave now. They have no buybacks.
I think they look at that last fight and just say that we just need our frontliners to be able to get more done, because Jo got drawn into the fight. He got drawn into the fight too early and just died before anything would happen. Bristleback wasn't really a factor. The Axe didn't get much done.
The Axe needs to find Jugger. I think that's the key now.
It's all down to initiation. If he gets the Blink Hex, or if they somehow get this Abyssal Blade on the Jug's gonna die off the bat, and then Rave could look to take the fight. But if it goes the other way, the Blink Omni / Abyssal Blade comes out, then it's BG who probably come out on top. And with the Hex and the Centaur now, there's just so many instant pick-off heroes in the game.
Refresher on Shadow Shaman.
All right, this could be
and Aegis. So it's actually very likely he will be able to get the double ward drop. I don't want to call that that's enough though. I honestly
the wards
have no
will
idea.
die so fast to Bristle or Sniper if they don't die.
Yeah. But if they
might
time
get
it
caught
well,
here though, there's a Blink to start, Stomp to follow. They have the Wisp sitting back in the base if need be. Game's a bit laggy, at least on our end. Abyssal Blade gonna come out now as he looks to turn this. And now gooing up Xiao8's. Assassinate coming out to usher him back. Nothing huge committed, but Lanham's getting into position. And they see him coming. They see the drop. This is the death drop that they want to get out. Lift will be used on the Shadow Fiend, and now the Blink Stomp attempted by RTK. Ryo going to be the one who BKBs here first and foremost as Burning leaps in, but the call's there. They're going to focus him down. They kill off the Juggernaut off the bat. A full duration Death Ward working on the Ninja Boogie, bringing him down. Everybody in the back lines is forced off the racks. They lose a range Rex, but that's it. It cost them a Shadow Fiend. It cost them Lanham. You just can't break Rave. They'll hold the line. 4 dead. Lanham going to fall as well. Burning's actually bought back for this. The wards were drop bottom. Maybe they get a single melee Rex. They'd better with everything they've thrown Rave's way. They do. Actually,
Rex.
looks like they might get 2 lanes of Rex, but no melee mid for now.
and that's a really expensive misplay, or it could be. He got the melee Rex. Lanham used Refresher before dropping the first set of wards. I think he thought he dropped them. He used the Refresher and then, oh wait, I haven't used the first set. So he only got 1 set of wards off bottom.
It could be the lag.
It could be
as
the
well.
lag too.
I mean,
But they
who
still got
knows?
the melee. He got the tower, he got the melee. They got the ranged Rex mid. It's something.
It is, and also Rave aren't really punishing it very quickly, but because Burning bought back, I feel there's a chance here, at least until that buyback cools down.
And ROTK also bought back.
Okay. Yeah,
This is
RTK did as well.
Really big. They have buyback on the Shadow Fiend.
Xiao8 the one who didn't get itchy on the Trigger figure there, but 1 or 2 of these heroes dies back, and that could actually be the game. We're at that point where heroes are just so farmed, they can take 2-3 lanes of Rex just with a slight hero advantage if you can't defend those buildings. But they're not leaving the base Synth.
I think Rave should have maybe tried to go up mid here. The problem is,
It's risky, but sitting back and letting them have buybacks again is, I feel, even riskier.
Sniper just bought a Butterfly. I think his next choice is to either sell the Mjolnir or the Manta and get the Daedalus. That will make a world of difference. It's going to increase his damage by I don't know how much, but
A lot.
close to 100%, I would say. AC now for Shadow Fiend.
This
He
is
got
about
rid of his
breaking
Manta.
buildings now. The
Got rid
Manta
of
illusions
Manta.
aren't going to do much. That armor are nice defensively, but I feel even more just it helps you mow down the structures more quickly.
They're pinging out Xiao8. We might see a move from Rave. He is the one hero on Big God with buyback, even after buying the AC. And they might think he doesn't have it, because they will probably have noticed
here we go.
the change in inventory.
Here's
They're
your
not
deep
gonna
smoke
find him.
from Rave. They're going to pop the Mjolnir onto Ryo. Remember, he is carrying an Abyssal Blade currently. And he's got the BOTs out as well, but not seeing anyone bottom. He's going to continue pursuit. They really want the blink call. Xiao8 is the one who didn't buy back, so even if they get the kill,
they
it's
didn't
not
see
the end
him.
of the world. They blinked the wrong direction. He's skirting the northern tree line.
How ice cold can you be to walk there?
Oh, jeez.
Oh my goodness. And they know the gank is coming, though, because no one's pushing out bottom. And Rave went for the play. They didn't get it. And they're back to defending once again.
It's so tense now for Rave. But
All right, when's Roche?
4 minutes until the buybacks cool down. Roche up in less, potentially. 2.5 minutes. Minimum 5.5 max.
How many have we had? 5 Roches?
5 or 6,
I want to
think.
say 5. We've had 3 cheeses, right? I think so.
With all the pauses, man, you could say 8 and I might even believe you. To be honest. Oh, boy.
Witch Doctor still has one of them. But the most important thing to note about that fight was Big God can pretty much force the entirety of Rave to go on one lane. It seems like the split pushing Shadow Shaman could be the key to breaking the base, because if they go 4 heroes mid or bottom, Rave will respond in full force, because I think they really need the heroes. Or the ones that are maybe expendable, which would pretty much only be Rubik. He can't defend against the split push anyway. So the fight will break out in mid. I think Shadow Shaman will try to sneak in top, drop the double wards, and they'll take whatever fight they can. They're going to wait until they have buybacks and a Roche to do it. And then Rave is going to be punished for the fact that they're not crossing the river. At some point, they will make a misstep, and it's going to favor Big God for being the aggressors.
Well, it looks like BG want to wait for that Roshan at this point, and who can blame them? Wait for the Aegis, wait for the buybacks to cool down, and then having already exposed one lane of Rex and taken down the range there, having broken through a full second lane in the bottom, BG might just be able to fully secure Mega Creeps with the next Aegis cheese. Still sitting on 1 cheese for now, so it'll be a double cheese. Rave are feeling that desperation. They smoke again, but who do they find? If it's ROTK, it would be a dieback. Smoke not going to break. They narrowly scurry past him, and they're heading north. They're walking into enemy territory, closing in on the Juggernaut of Burning. Remember, he's one of the heroes that used his buyback. The Blink's there. They get the Hex. This could be big. Call now coming out. They throw everything at Burning, and they almost bring him down, but not quite. No! The Omni comes out. Burning's going to turn. It brings down 1.
He's living with the healing ward.
Still surviving the healing ward.
Oh my God.
It's 4 dead. This might be it for Rave. They've held on very admirably, but now they have few buybacks left at their disposal. The Bristle, the Rubik, the Wisp, but crucially, no Sniper, dead for 100, no Axe, dead for 70.
If they kill Burning there, that fight is totally different. He lives at 5% health, gets a full Omni Slash off, lives with the healing ward, and turns it around. That was so close.
Oh, they're not going to give
fight.
up yet. They're not going to give up just yet. They'll try to hang on, throwing every buyback they can out. Even the Wisp buying back, but Ryo can do little to stop this. The range Rex dropping to creeps. The mid melee dropping to a couple of heroes, and Burning trying to put a dagger through Rave's heart in the top lane. Goo coming out, Lanham straight for the throne. There's your second set of Serpent Wards, actually. He'll drop them on the tier 4s. Now RTK going to work as well. Ryo trying to hold the line. He'll clean up the wards, but not fully yet. Maledict gonna discourage him from chasing. Now Hexed again. They're trying to control him, and they will steal that Hex, looking to throw it the other way, and at this exact moment, the game lags even further, but thrown in jeopardy now as BG close in on the GG. They got them where they want them. Rave are gonna throw in the towel. What a heartbreaking way for this Filipino squad to go out, but Lord knows, Sin, they gave it everything they had. They finish outside of the top 4, but
The game isn't over yet, though.
Very proud.
Maybe it's not recorded.
If it's not recorded, I guess it doesn't
Poor
count.
network connections have been detected. The game will not be scored.
As our many pub experiences have told us. If the game isn't recorded,
when the throne has 100 health, that message will pop up. And a little picture of Gaben in the bottom right corner
with
laughing
lag.
at you.
It ends with lag. It's only fitting.
We don't get to see the fountain. We don't get to see the throne breaking.
We're deprived even this.
ancient-
Bruno has no mercy, and I guess on that note, we'll hand it over to our merciless test.
There's no evidence of the win.
No, it never happened. This never happened, guys. Game 3 coming up next. Stay tuned. Rave versus Big God continues after this.
I want to thank you personally, LD, and all 86 people that tweeted at me, somehow telling me that I was responsible or that I had the power to fix the lag in these servers. I'm pretty impressed about that. I'm humbled. Unfortunately, I can't do it from here. How you guys doing?
I'm heartbroken right now.
I am too.
I wasn't even a fan of Rave to start this tournament, but that is just rough. That's a rough way to lose.
What, you mean you are a Rave fan now?
I am a Rave fan now, absolutely.
Wow, Hotby would be ashamed of you. He said that you had to pick one team and be fan of that team.
Well, it's not
only.
my main team. It's
It's like
being a
that's
fan.
the problem. No one is like,
No, I have.
there's no true
Okay.
identity.
I don't blame you, Shannon. It's the story of the tournament that matters now for us. They move
Yeah.
your heart.
That is true. I mean, losing that way with all that lag,
It is very unfortunate.
that's just the worst, honestly.
There was even like some drama, controversy about people being able to hear stuff and people not wearing their headset. That is all in the history. What matters right now is that Big God advances to top 4. Rave, they did great during this tournament. I think they were overlooked by many. I heard a lot of people saying, why is Rave inviting directly and no, we don't get like extra European teams or American teams?
What American team?
Yeah, exactly. That was the answer. But Rave proved that they were completely right in being invited here, and that coming into next tournaments, they can be a group of 5 people that can take it all.
Yeah, they've shown a lot this tournament and proving a lot of the haters wrong and all the disbelievers. I mean, I won't call myself a disbeliever. It was ignorant to the team in general, and I think that's the case for most people. And well, I think they gained a lot of fans this tournament. They should be proud of what they've accomplished.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Top 6. That's
top 6.
Nobody would have guessed
That's
that.
very respectable for everyone. That actually, for a team that came into the tournaments, not
better than newbie.
Ouch.
We had to bring it today.
Ouch.
That's the quota, once per day.
Once per day. Yeah, I'm fulfilling the quota. Better than newbie, better than Navi. So, anyways, very well played, Rave. Congratulations to Big God. They're going to be advancing to the 4th round of the loser bracket. It will look like this. That is the loser bracket final, which is going to be Big God versus the winner of Team Secret versus Cloud9. Team Secret versus Cloud9 is going to be played soon after the break that we're going to make right now. Important to mention, this game is actually played from the hotel. It's not played from the venue. So unfortunately, we will not have camera shots and crowd shots like the games that we had so far. It's going to be just us.
But the good news is it should start pretty fast. Because
it will start super fast because they are already ready. Since this game was not waiting for the same setup that the one in the stadium was taking. So without further ado, we're gonna go to a little break. When we come back, we will have the final best of 3 of the days, and to me, the most exciting one.
On paper, absolutely.
Yeah, it's going to be the Western rivalry of Team Secret and Cloud9. See you in a bit.